So I'm back with a film recommendation for you in this nice, short, lean video that doesn't go over budget, unlike the film I'm going to recommend, which is Waterworld. Now, I'm not here to recommend the theatrical version of Waterworld, although I do like the theatrical version of Waterworld. I'm here to recommend something called the Ulysses Cut, which is the second disc in this Arrow Blu-ray. The first disc is a theatrical one, which is currently in my player. So this is the Ulysses Cut. I'm going to explain what the Ulysses Cut is. Waterworld came out in 1995. It is a Kevin Costner, Mad Maxy type, post-apocalyptic. The whole world's gone to crap. There is no land. There is only water, hence Waterworld. Kevin Costner plays an unnamed character who some refer to as the Mariner. He has gills, so he's a little bit of a mutant, but they don't really go too much into that, other than the fact he can obviously swim underwater. So he roams the world looking after himself. There is also a plot to find dry land, this mythical place that is the only dry land on Waterworld. So you've got the whole plot, but you've seen the film. It's a big budget film. Budget was a little bit bigger than everybody hoped. And so the press went after Kevin Costner because Kevin Costner had a run of, so obviously did very, very well. And I am a Kevin Costner fan. He did Dances with Wolves, 3-hour epic, won Oscars. He did another 3-hour epic, which I still maintain this film was better than Tombstone. So, you know, I know I'm in the minority, but I do prefer Wyatt Earp's. Another 3-hour epic. He'd done JFK, which is an amazing 3-hour plus epic, although it's an Oliver Stone film, not a Kevin Costner film. And Waterworld was the focus of a press hate campaign. They went after it and they were calling it Kevin's Gate in reference to a film that sunk United Artists called Heaven's Gate. So, you know, somebody really wasn't up too many hours trying to go, what can we refer to Kevin Costner's possible studio sinking film? Let's call it Kevin's Gate because it's like Heaven's Gate. Well done to whoever came up with that one. So there was a panic. There was like, this film is costing too much. It's gone way over budget. The set was getting hit by hurricanes, actual hurricanes. So the press were sharpening their knives and basically trying to take Kevin Costner down a peg or two after the run of successes that he'd had, you know, starring in JFK and with Dancing with Wolves and so on. He'd had a really good run of films. So the studio and Kevin Costner were a little bit panicky. So they took Kevin Reynolds' film, director Kevin Reynolds' film, and cut it down from the 3 hours to 2 hours, 15 minutes. So the theatrical version runs for 2 hours, 15 minutes, including credits. And they put it out. And it, you know, over time it made its money back, but it didn't exactly set the box office on light because films usually don't when the press go after them. Silly people read those articles, certainly more so now, and decide, oh no, that film must be terrible. I won't make my own mind up. Never understood that logic. And so over the years, there was all these rumors of this mythical, obviously mythical dry land, but mythical deleted scenes that were cut out. When can we see them? There was a TV broadcast of Waterworld, I think it was ABC that did it, and they put in a whole bunch of deleted scenes, around 40 minutes or so. But because it was a TV broadcast back then, they cut a lot of the violence and the swearing out and toned the film down a lot, but it was still a longer version. So then the few years or whatever later, some hardworking people put together what they call the Ulysses Cut. Now, if you're wondering why they call it the Ulysses Cut, I was wondering that until I'd finished watching the film. It does explain why the Ulysses is in there. And the Ulysses Cut was released in this Arrow Blu-ray set. There are a couple of versions of this set. There's a 3-disc version, which includes a theatrical cut, the TV edit, and the Ulysses Cut. And Ulysses Cut is a hybrid of the theatrical and the TV cut. So it's more, that's the proper version. The TV edit, I think you would probably just watch as a curiosity, I think. It isn't included in this set, unfortunately, but the Ulysses Cut is. The Ulysses Cut is 2 hours and 57 minutes, so it's putting in like 42 minutes worth of of extra footage. Now, 42 minutes is a lot of footage. Now, obviously, you're going to go, it's 42 minutes. But if you go back to something like Aliens, a special edition, I think that was 17 minutes extra. But yeah, that 17 minutes just makes like a whole new movie. So obviously, 42 minutes is longer than 17. There you go, there's your maths lesson for the day. So I was quite curious to see what this version would look like. I was under the impression that it would probably look something like the Alien 3 assembly cut or the Richard Donner Superman 2 cut. So like an unfinished version of a film. So I would be able to tell when the new scenes were and when it would transition from one to the other, either by picture quality or screen ratio or something like that. Or maybe it would just throw out the whole pace of the film. The theatrical version, which I enjoy. I do like Waterworld. I've seen it a whole bunch of times over the years. I really like the Ulysses cut. I sat and watched it last night, all 2 hours and 57 minutes of it. There were some scenes that I thought, I don't think I've seen that scene before. But the scenes, it blends perfectly. So it's, because it is a different thing. It's not like a film was made and then extra scenes were dug up and put back in. This Ulysses cut, as far as I can tell, is the proper version that was supposed to come out before it was chopped to bits by Kevin Costner in the studios. Unfortunately, not director Kevin Reynolds, because they kicked him off the film. You can't really tell the difference. There's no difference in picture quality. It doesn't do a Donner cut or an assembly cut Alien 3 and go, oh, well, that's clearly a new bit because it looks like crap. The pacing was fine. There were some extra scenes that I did spot, certainly near the beginning. I won't go through them all because, you know, there's a lot of them. There's 42 minutes and I want this to be like a 10, 15 minute video max. There were some scenes with extra characters in it. When you think, I don't remember the guy with the white hair trying to get in there at all at the beginning and things like that. There were some extra dialogue scenes. There was some extra action scenes. So the 42 minutes are littered throughout the entire movie. There's a really good end sequence, which is where they explain what the Ulysses reference is. And also they go into a lot more, or not a lot more, but enough more about what dry land is. And when I watched that scene last night, I swore blind. I'm like, that was in the theatrical version, because I knew that. I didn't, because I went back this morning and checked that ending on the theatrical version. And it does have sort of a different ending on this Ulysses. And it's a nice ending. It's cool. Sweet. So the Ulysses cut, it's kind of like Kingdom of Heaven, but not quite. So Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven, the theatrical version came out. I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine. A lot of people savage that film and go, it's terrible. Generally, not so many people do the same with Waterworld. They either didn't watch it, or they watch it and you go, yeah, it's fine. I like it. Or they really like it. But when you watch the extended version of Kingdom of Heaven, it's a lot better film. It gives you more depth. There's more character development in there. There's a bit more world building. And with Waterworld, the Ulysses cut, there is more character development. There's more of a relationship development between Jean Triplehorn's character and Kevin Costner's character. And yeah, so it builds the world better. It builds the characters better. It works as a better film. I went back and I watched some of the theatrical version this morning. And going back and watching the theatrical version, I can now tell where the scenes were removed. Couldn't before, because I didn't know there were scenes removed before. But going back and looking at it after you've watched the Ulysses cut, you can actually go, that's where they did the snip. There's a lot of alternate takes and alternate angles and scenes and stuff that are in the Ulysses cut. Not drastic changes, but they've used alternate stuff. So it's not just like, let's just slap 42 minutes back in and then put it out. It feels like a very, very much improved version of Waterworld. So if you have seen the theatrical version and you like the theatrical version, I don't think anybody who doesn't like Waterworld is going to watch the Ulysses cut and then decide, oh, actually, it's an amazing film, it's now in my top 10. But I think if you do like Waterworld, then I would definitely recommend that you try and pick this up. It has been released in 4K as well, but I only have one 4K player in the house, so I just pick most of my Blu-ray stuff up just on regular Blu-ray, plus it's cheaper. There is also on this disc a really good feature-length documentary called Maelstrom, which is 1 hour and 42 minutes, all about the making of Waterworld. So I'm probably going to go back and watch that, having watched the Ulysses cut, and just swim back into the world of Waterworld. So that's my film recommendation, is this, that you pick it up and you do check out the Ulysses cut, because it's one of those director's cuts that I think once you've watched it, a bit like The Abyss, you go back and you watch it and you think, every time I watch Waterworld, I'm going to watch the extended version, because it's a more complete version of a fun movie. So there you go, my recommendation from a 1995 film in a far newer, restored version. Finally, we got it.